Well, good afternoon, Josh. Nice to see you.
Good afternoon, Brian.
I'm Brian. Thanks for coming in. So, why are you here today?
I've been having a lot of issues with a personal friend of mine.
Okay.
Now, we're actually both involved in a country band. We've been playing for several years together, but since we've been finally receiving some recognition, the last year has gotten extremely rough.
Oh, okay.
And our relationship as a friendship has tattered, and it's caused a lot of strain and stress as a bandmate.
I see. So, I'm hearing that you guys. There's two in the band.
There's three of us.
Three. And so, is it with both people, both of the other two people, or just one in particular?
Just one of them, our guitarist and singer.
Okay. And you were friends with him before you were in the band, or?
Yes, I've actually known him since the 5th grade, since I was 8.
Okay, so longtime friends.
So very long time.
And pretty close, pretty good friends.
Yes, I would say so.
Okay, so I'm kind of hearing that you've been friends with this guy for a long time, but working with him is different, and it's not the same kind of relationship anymore.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, tell me more about what happened.
It began simply by us getting hired on and playing local shows a little over a year ago, and songs that I had co-authored and even completely authored myself, he would start to take credit for them.
Yeah, I see.
We'd be on stage, he would introduce the song, and then say that he had written it, or say, I wrote this last month or so, this is what was going on in my life, I hope you guys like it. And I'm sitting there in the back behind my drum set. Well, wait a minute, didn't I write that song?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that about what's me and going on in my life? But
wow.
Needless to say, I don't mind sharing anything. The only thing I ask from him is equal credit. Just recognition for the part that we each contribute. Now, if he contributes a greater part than I, then I'm okay with him taking more of a light.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm an equal part in this band.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's the way I feel. That's the way it started. That's the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if that's how he's perceiving it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he thinks his role is more important than mine and our bandmates.
I see. I understand how you feel. So, have you approached him about this?
Yes, we've actually talked off and on about this, and he's apologized for it in the past and said that he won't do that again. He would try to be more inclusive, yet time and time again he doesn't. And when I bring that back up to him, he says, oh, I'm sorry, it slipped my mind again or so, and some sort of excuse is what I've been given.
So how do you feel about all this?
Slighted.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the simplest way to sum it up.
Mm-hmm.
Just yes, that I think he's more preparing everything for himself now, and he's got himself in the picture.
And why do you think he's doing this? Why do you think he's not giving you credit for the work that you've done?
I couldn't say. That's something I've learned a lot about.
Have you asked him?
No, I haven't asked him that.
So how do you approach about this when this happened and it was finally something that you wanted to talk to him about and it was bugging you enough? How did you approach it? Were you tell me the attitude you had?
Very docile, I would say, trying to be non-argumentative, just to spark the conversation and say, hey buddy, this is just something that's been on my mind. I've noticed this through our performances and hearing your discussions with other people. This is my thoughts, how I feel about it. I just wanted to let you know, and what do you think? And just try to get a flowing conversation with no aggression in it. And
mm-hmm. And how did he react to all that?
He tends to get pretty angry sometimes.
Hmm.
But then later, after a few hours of cooling down, he will text an apology and just say, I will try to be more inclusive.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think it's good that you approached it the way you did. Docile, however you want to call it. I think it's good that you came at it in a way that's non-adversarial. Because you do have a history with him, your friends, and you probably want to protect that friendship, if I'm hearing it correctly.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you also want to have credit where credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
You are a co-equal member of this band, and you'd like to be recognized for your part in it.
Yeah.
I see. So, has anything gotten better as time's gone on, or has it gotten worse?
Things have gotten better to an extent.
Okay. Tell me about that.
As far as him recognizing me and our other bandmate, but that didn't really happen until we grew from a 2-piece into a 3-piece. So, I'm not sure if it's something particularly with me, or he felt that he needed to be more equal once we brought on another member who was actually a more experienced musician than he or I. And I don't know, maybe there's a little bit of acceptance he's looking for from our new partner.
Is your new partner, so you say your new partner is more experienced musically?
Yes,
He's a better musician, for lack of a better term.
Absolutely.
Okay. Is he older, or is he about the
Yes,
same
he
age?
is. He's older. He's 55. He's been playing on his bass guitar for about 35 years now.
Okay.
He's been in several bands, 2 of them touring bands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a splendid musician.
Mm-hmm. So, you've noticed a difference in your friend's behavior ever since the new person has joined, who's an older person.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm hearing it correctly, you're thinking that he's acting that way because this new band member, who is 1, more experienced, and 2, older, might temper his boasts about himself, and he doesn't want to have 2 people ganging up on him instead of 1. Is that what I'm hearing correctly?
I believe that may potentially what the issue is.
I see. Have you decided to confront him about that? Have you said anything like, I've noticed you acting differently since the third person's come on, or have you just kind of let it go?
I've honestly let it go,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know whether that's for good or for bad. Really, my decision in attempting to let it go, obviously you still harbor some feeling or grudge afterwards, but more accepting and okay with things. I think primarily because of my love to play.
Mm-hmm.
I love to perform in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like those 2 hours a week of performance is worth all of the stress and bickering caused between my bandmate and I.
So would you say your relationship has gotten better, it's the same, or it's worse than when he did what he did?
I would say it's a little bit better, but it's not. Our friendship is not nearly as strong as it was before we engaged in this project 3 years ago. We were almost best of friends then, and now we rarely talk other than we almost treat each other as business partners.
Mm-hmm. I see. So I'm kind of hearing that while you'd like to remain friends with him, and ostensibly you are still friends with him, you stick around because you're committed to the group.
Mm-hmm.
And you also just love to play, and you want the time and the experience to play your instrument and to play with other people and to perform. That's important, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So, and you also think that it's not important to really pursue the whole matter with your friend since the new person's come on and he's kind of tempered his behavior.
Yes.
Okay. Have you talked to the third bandmate about this, or did you
No,
just
only
kind of give him a heads up as to where your friend was, or?
No, only because he is older, he's an experienced musician, he can recognize these things himself. He's a very intelligent man.
Mm-hmm.
I have the feeling that if he and my other bandmate were to have an issue of any sort, that he can handle it himself, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that he does not need to be dragged into any drama, so to speak, between my friend and I.
Right.
That I consider that as between the 2 of us, and then our new bandmate is essentially, yes, another business partner.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what you're doing is great by putting the group before yourself, and your feelings and your issues with your friend, and I think it's good that relations have gotten a little bit better between you and him, even though the underlying issue has not really been resolved. Do you care to resolve it, or you just kind of want to let it go?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
That's honestly something I'm torn between. I haven't fully made up my mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's something that is worth exploring. If it's something you've got to decide, kind of balance. you know, whether the friendship or the band is something that's more important right now in your eyes. And I'd be willing to explore this more with you, you know, to talk things out. You know, how would you feel about maybe talking with your friend that you had the issue with? Not necessarily about the issue, the problem, but you know, maybe just trying to talk with him as a friend again instead of a bandmate. And then maybe things can bubble up, and you can resolve them. That.
Actually, I don't see the harm in attempting that at all.
Yeah. And would you be willing to come back with me in a week or two or something and let me know how it goes?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like that.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate your time.
Well,
I
thank
hope
you, sir.
hope you got something out of this, and I hope things get better with your friend and keep playing well with your band.
Excellent.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Josh.